Hey y'all, it's Anime Cameron, and today I'm going to be reviewing episode 1 of Ensemble Stars. And I gotta say, this anime was, it really wasn't the type of anime that I can latch to, at least going off of this episode, because its premise is essentially about the main characters, Subaru, Yuki, Hidaka, and so in this purple-haired individual essentially pinning their hopes on this transfer student called Anzu, who is the first girl in their school, and she's goes to the idol course, but she's in like the producer category. And what I like about that is at the very least they do explain the premise of the show pretty naturally. But the thing is, everything in the middle to get to that portion was what I didn't exactly enjoy about this episode. Because while they did properly explain that the boys want to shake up Yumine Sokai Private Academy, because it was a lot more freer in the old days where people could have like these random festivals at random times, but now they can't have those anymore. Well, all that stuff was nice and dandy. What I didn't like was, throughout this episode, it was just mostly talking sequences that are relatively unengaging. Because, let me explain why. When it did introduce characters like Subaru, a lot of the sequences were pretty much them just subtly dissing Subaru. Like, this guy gives Subaru a 10 yen coin, and at the start I was funny. But then when Subaru's like, oh yeah, I'm a dog. Oh yeah, I sell my soul for like 10 yen. I'm like, okay. I understand someone being greedy for money, but that's going a bit too far on making that character kind of dumb, you know? It's like, I don't really mind the dumb character in an anime, but when an anime goes too far, it's like, how is this guy in high school? Or whatever grade school level they're in? So, bits like that were some of the things I didn't enjoy about this episode from a story standpoint. And I also didn't enjoy when there was like this music sequence done by this gray-haired dude. I actually didn't enjoy that. The thing is, it kept on panning to like other people talking that really see any portion of it. And then when it seemed like we were going to get a fight, and we did get to see portions of the fight, it looked pretty cool. Like when it when I was about to get to the best part, it was interrupted by people from like the student council. And then that had potential too, because they were chasing after students. And I felt like the anime could have maybe used that to make some sense sequences, maybe have the main characters just barely escape so that they don't get punishments from the school and all that. And I was like, all right, this could be fucking cool. But instead, no. When there's when the student council members chase after students, it's done in boring still shot montages, and then the main characters escape off screen, and because eventually they find their friend and everything's all fine and dandy, easy, clean, sanitized, situation resolved. And I'm like, oh my god, this feels like beating one of those video games. This is like beating an easy video game using a fucking Game Shark to make it even more easier, if I had to describe how easily they resolved at least that situation in this episode. So, literally, if the script would have been tightened up, this episode could have been pretty damn good. But instead, they kind of made it dull. And that's why, from a story standpoint, I didn't really find it that interesting. And as for the characters, I mean, I guess they made me chuckle a few times, but I really didn't find them really interesting. Anuzu was meh. Subaru felt like they made him too dumb at times. If they would have just made him more balanced, made him say less dumb shit, but still had some of that dumb factor in him, I think it would have been a nice character. And then there was this dude with glasses. I mean, there isn't really much to describe him at all. Just that he's really nervous when talking to women and all that. And I guess the only good sequence I can remember from is when he was like trying to continue a conversation and looking at the phone to try to help resolve it. That was like probably one of the few good sequences in this episode. that involving him in the episode itself. And then there's Hidaka, which is this guy with like blue eyes who, I guess he was the mature type and all that, and I guess he did keep Subaru and the other kid in check. And that's about it. They really don't have much personality traits at all, I guess, except for Yuki's nervous, Subaru's an idiot, and Hidaka is mature, and that's about it. Not much from the character standpoint. Art's really great though, I'll give it credit. I did like the artwork, and the animation, it was hit and miss. In some sequences it looked good, in others it was lazy. Really fucking lazy, and it was noticeable. And honestly, during the episode, I felt like I was about to fall asleep. Luckily, I didn't. But damn, I was so close to falling asleep. And as for the soundtrack, I actually liked the soundtrack. Opening and ending themes were good, and I did enjoy the voice performances. The voice cast did a good job. And but as for do I recommend this? I mean, for anyone that really loves animes that have male idols, well then check it out. For anyone that's neutral towards it or doesn't enjoy it too much, I wouldn't recommend it. For me, I'm sort of neutral towards male idol animes. If there's like a lot of comedy or an engaging story or just really fucking good dance sequences throughout a full episode, I'm engaged. Here, there wasn't much comedy, there wasn't much dance sequences, and yeah, the story wasn't engaging, so honestly, couldn't get into it. And I've seen my first share of musical animes like Kono Ototomori, Your Lie in April, Soundful Gears, and Kids on the Slope, and Carol and Tuesday. So I do like musical animes, but there was just nothing in here that popped to me, and that's why I'm gonna give it my personal score, which is a 4.5 out of 10, which is below average, because for me 5 is average, so it's like a half point below average. This ain't the worst anime I've seen this season. The honor belongs to Mal Retry, but it ain't the best either, I gotta say. Now, for anyone that likes male idol animes a lot, then I will scale it up to a 5 or a 6 with I can recommend this. But that's about it. Other than that, I really don't have much else to say. So anyways, guys, be sure to rate the video, subscribe, and now we're gonna sit there. Man, this anime made me sleepy as fuck. Yeah. And I'll see you guys later if you come back for more. Alright, bye bye everyone.